here's Dan Campbell on the offensive line situation.
With Graham, he didn't finish the season complete. Like, you know, he's battling through some things. What's your confidence level that Graham can rebound
Yeah, well, look, Graham, we know where Graham is at. You know, every year, certainly, you know, you play that position, and it's a year later, you know. But Graham's somebody that we still value because he's got versatility, you know. And, look, he did. He started the whole season, other than, you know, whatever that was, game that we let him recover from injury at guard, but he can also play center. I think, you know, people forget that some. Man, he can do an excellent job at center, as a matter of fact, you know. So I think there's things that he brings to us that are not always easy to find. So yeah, we have confidence in him. And there again, the fact that, you know, he can play all the positions, man, that lets you breathe easy.
Do you envision him going back to right guard this year?
I don't know. I don't know. That's a thought, man. We've talked about that. Do you go back to right, you know, and is it Mahogany left? Is it somebody we drafted? You know, you're going to do your best to let these guys compete and see where they're at. I mean, do we try Manu at guard? That's a thought. You know, so we're going to try to we're going to try to let these guys compete a little bit and move them around and see what's right, see where we're at. But you know, it's not going to be set in stone.
How much during the line play?
So that was Dan Campbell talking about the offensive line, and now we're cooking.
Yeah.
Now we're cooking, Sean. Like, and I got to admit, once we get through Friday with the opening day, that's when I'm going to cannonball into the draft pool. All right, I'm going to do it. I'm going off the high board to like the 5 meter. You know, I want a good sized cannonball into this draft pool, because for me, Sean, I've always been of the opinion, and this is where the Lions are going to be drafting, we all think, for a very long time, right? High 20s, hopefully last pick in the first round, you know, low 30s. What is the most eminent need in the future? And I know that's a stupid sounding question, but I think you understand what I'm saying. What's the next round of needs? Let's pretend like it's Firefest. Yeah. All right, we got to go to the investors and get the next round of needs. I think the next big need for this team is going to be interior offensive line.
You got it.
Frank Ragnow, is he on borrowed time?
Yes.
He's got inoperable toes.
Right.
Right. He won't practice anymore.
That's not great. Yeah, he said he's not going to play somewhere where Hank Fraley isn't his coach. So
there you have that. It's eminent. You know what I'm saying?
How many times have we said it? All sitting here in this same room, the same 5 people in this room, to all the people out there that are screaming it has to be edge in the first round, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it is an IOL. At all. Especially the way the board falls. I was talking to somebody yesterday, somebody who like legitimately is all in, is a draft beatnik, and the point that I made to him is the same thing I know we've talked about here. I said, I think the Lions are going to miss on the high end of the edges. The high end. The Pierces, the Greens. And he was like, yeah, those guys will probably be gone. And this is for you, KG, because I know you and I have talked about it. He said, maybe Pierce is there because there are a lot of teams that are worried about his attitude, issues, you know, and quote, all that. I'd take him in a heartbeat, but when you look at it, there are a bunch of IOLs in that range that you could grab. There are a couple guys that are in that maybe 24 to 31 range. And Neil, I know you're not knee deep in it, but again, I'm not saying that this is gospel, but if you run enough mock drafts or read enough mock drafts, there is a huge group of edges that are going to be available in the second and third round. So that's why and Neil, we were joking about this last week. I can't wait for people to lose their mind if the Lions don't take an edge in round 1. I can't wait. It is one of the greatest old bits, because then we can sit back and I can be, here's that quote for you, Neil, an arrogant ass at that point in time. And go, guys, I don't know if you know this. There's a day 2 of the draft. And then, hold on, wait. There's 2 more rounds in Dayton.
Sean, why are you
But
lying?
wait, there's more.
Why are you lying to the people?
But
Sean?
But
Wait,
wait, there's more. Act now.
If you call right now.
And we'll throw. There's a 3rd day of the draft. So you can address those needs. I don't think it's imperative to get that edge in the first round. I just don't. I don't think it's imperative, guys. I don't. And I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. Now, again, let's remember the general manager as well. And KG, I've heard you point this out 100 times. Don't be surprised if my man doesn't move up.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised. If there's something he's looking at, we're
He'll
at
go
pick
get his
22 and
guy.
he's going, holy shit. Both Pierce and Green are still on the board. I cannot let this go. Nobody should be surprised at that. You
Yep.
know, he's shown the propensity to do that. But I think we have to work under the assumption that they're going to stay at 28. If they do, I wouldn't be surprised at an IOL at all, fellas.
Spenny.
I would not either. I mean, the only way I would crash
Benny?
out is if there was. It depends on who they passed on.
You're right.
Right.
Like, and who if they get Booker and take him over Shamar Stewart, then I could kind of, okay. Gray Zabel over some of those guys, I might freak out a little bit there. But if, like I said, the reason me and Easy crashed out on a mock draft was because after the Lions picked the interior offensive linemen, the Eagles, Chiefs, and Commanders all got Shamar Stewart, Azaraku, and James Pierce,
Right.
and Mikael Williams. So we were like, all right, fuck that. Like I think that they're going to get an edge personally because I think they're going to move up and get their guy, much like they did with Terrion Arnold. I think the parallels between what the Lions need and the strength of this draft this year and what the Lions needed and the strength of the draft last year are extremely similar. Like the Lions needed corners last year. They traded up it was a corner heavy draft. They traded up, got their guy, and then got another cornerback. The Lions need an edge rusher this year. It's an edge heavy draft. I can see them trading up, getting their guy, but if they get an interior offensive lineman because their guys are off the board, I'm not going to freak out. It's the second biggest need on the team right now.
I think the one thing that, and I don't know if you've paid attention to this, I'm sorry, and I know I'm talking to a room of converts. The one thing that so many mock drafts make a mistake on every single year is there will be at least a quarterback, probably multiple quarterbacks, that go earlier than any of us thought.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. And we talked Jackson Dart.
Best quarterback in the draft.
I'm sorry. Don't be surprised.
Look at
Don't
Neil's
be
face every
surprised.
time.
Listen, don't be surprised if somebody doesn't agree with him.
If
Don't be
Jackson Dart gets drafted by the Steelers, he'll win a Super Bowl in his career for the Steelers.
Oh, shit.
Now, it's not saying year one, nothing like that.
Who was the guy you were on before that got taken by the Cardinals?
Clayton Tune.
Yeah,
that was a
shout
sixth
out
round
Clayton
guy.
Tune.
Where are we at
man.
with Clayton? Tune?
That was a sixth round guy.
Is he on Saturday?
Yeah.
He coming to Ford Field?
He started some games last year.
He did.
No, the Clayton Tune one, that's different.
Clayton Tune is
That's
different.
That's just us
I
talking.
actually think Jackson Dart could be a very good quarterback in the NFL.
And I actually think that the one thing I did formulate this morning when I was on the treadmill at Planet Fitness, my whole Jackson Dart thing, I watched him multiple times. I was traveling a lot with the Pistons during that time. Their assistant media guy is an Ole Miss guy.
Uh-oh.
Watched a lot of Ole Miss games together. Like, I watched some games,
Yeah.
and I walked away going, where is it? Because I didn't see it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but anybody.
Maybe I'm missing it.
You probably are.
Am I?
I don't know.
You know the last person I asked this about, right?
Yeah, true.
Did you see his girlfriend that said he cheated on him though? Or cheated
Yes,
on her?
I saw his girlfriend. Unfortunately, that does not help him on the football field
It
when
might.
Aiden
For me.
Hutchinson's
It
chasing
might.
after
Get some
him.
aura. No, but obviously Cam Ward's the best quarterback in this draft. But I think I don't know if the gap between Jackson Dart and Shedeur Sanders is that big personally.
Somebody will take him.
Yeah, they're all.
Oh, I know that.
Somebody's going to take Jalen Milroe in the first round.
No,
you
that's
better
a
be
fact.
prepared for that.
That's a fact.
It's going to happen. It happens every single
Yeah,
year.
like we're talking about it. 3 or 4 quarterbacks go in the first round every single year.
Right.
And unless it's the worst quarterback draft in the history of the NFL, like the Kenny Pickett one was, yeah, I would not be surprised if Jalen Milroe was a first round pick.
I heard the flagship talking about this too, so I'll give them credit because I'm like that.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
What?
Best work is a light pack. Prince outlive Mike Jack.
They were talking about the fact that you don't see quarterbacks taken in the second round. or the third round.
Not for
typically.
real. Unless you're Desmond Ritter.
Because that fifth year, man, that fifth year.
That fifth year, and they know, and to expand on that a little bit, I think that the teams that are rolling the dice on the quarterback in the first round, they know. So you may as well go all the way in,
Might
right?
as well, yeah.
And if you hit, you got him for 5.
Yeah, that's it.
And if you don't hit, somebody would still take a rookie quarterback on a 5-year deal, so you can get something for him.
Yeah, true.
I'm going to start, and by the way, this has nothing to do with what we just talked about, and I know we're super late for the break again.
Of course.
But I'm going to read this message from I'm Salty, and I'm going to substitute the verbiage that will make the sentence be exactly the same and exactly as factual as you said it in the message, okay? If the quarterback who has led the NFL in passing touchdowns the last 3 years over every other quarterback in the NFL doesn't win this year, we'll be paying him $70 million to be mediocre.
They're not going to pay him.
Is that
$70
fair?
They're not going to pay him 7. They're going to
That's
restructure
first
his
and
contract.
foremost.
Yeah.
Is that fair, though?
That is fair.
Is that fair of me to do it that way?
That is factually
Yeah.
accurate.
Did I alter the sentence?
No. You just changed his title.
Yeah.
Correct.
But
So
we
I'll
all know who you're talking about.
What? Sean, why are you looking like that?
I don't understand why things like that exist. There comes a time, and then again, there comes like you have to drop it. Okay, this is my
Right.
opportunity to purge my soul. I was one of those guys. I thought he was a bridge. I thought he was broken. Everything that I saw out of him and his stats suggested that was the case, and it wasn't.
And Sean,
So you know what you have to do at that point in time? You have to go like this. First, confess you're wrong. Confess your sins. Okay.
these are my confession.
Right, and then go like
Untimed.
that. The Church of Hobby. Don't no
Right.
don't do that again. Let's not. But then you have to go like this because Neil, every time you start to say it sounds silly, like you just made it silly.
And
It just does. I'm sorry, guys.
real quick before we go to break, I got to shout out my guy.
Shout out.
Microwave Nick Koloff, sound guy for the heavyweights, officially the credentialed Detroit Tigers beat
My
reporter
dog,
for Woodward
my
Sports,
dog.
man.
All right.
He got his lanyard, he got his press credential, he got everything. So shout out to my guy Nick Koloff,
Big
man.
shout out, bro.
He lives or breathes by the seat of his pants, lives or breathes by every pitch thrown. So it's awesome. Microwave Nick, appreciate you, man. Thanks for everything you've done for the heavyweights and for us going forward. You deserve this, man. You've worked hard. You've earned it. Go out there and kill it all summer, brother.
Yeah, shout out.
Yep.
Way to
Shout
go.
out,
Shout
Nick,
out.
bro.
Big
I'm so
time.
proud of him.
Enjoy it.
Don't tell him you know me.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Right.
Don't do
yeah.
it.
Use Rogelio's name, not Neil's. Yeah.
Probably better off.
That's what's
for you.
up, man.
Yeah,
Probably
I'm
better
really
off for
happy
you.
for Nick, man. He earned that shit.
Worked hard.